Having a side hustle today is really easier than ever before because there's so many options to earn extra money. So again, it takes your time away from you because you're going to be doing an extra, taking extra time of your day to earn extra money. But for a season, I think that it's great. And if it's something that you love and that you're passionate about, we do find that people start a side hustle and they end up actually transitioning to that for their full-time job and leaving what they were doing for 40 hours a week.
So when we think of side hustles, many of us think of somebody being an Uber driver, a Lyft driver, or serving coffee perhaps, or teaching fitness classes like I do. But this is a trend that's changing. People are thinking they need to spend this extra money instead of on manicures and sports tickets, on groceries and gas prices. For Americans across the country, having that second job, a side hustle, it was tied to greater financial freedom, more wealth, success. Problem is, more and more Americans see that second job as an American necessity. Now, more than a third of Americans have second jobs, often sacrificing time with their families to put food on the table and keep the electricity on. And many feel like they'll need those side hustles forever just to get by. Over half of the American side hustlers have been earning extra money for 2 years or less, as the side hustle has gone from spare cash to more of an American must-have. I saw what this was all like firsthand. I joined Matthew Kalish of New Jersey. He's been working double duty for years now, hoping to break the vicious cycle.
Like many Americans, Matthew Kalish is running on fumes. After finishing his overnight graveyard shift at a New Jersey hotel, he then heads back to work as a United States postal worker, delivering mail for up to 8 more hours. Matthew is part of a growing group of Americans, the side hustlers, working at least 2 jobs.
Man, I'm tired just thinking about it, Matthew. What's the hardest part coming to this job after you've been up all night doing your other job?
It's definitely a struggle, staying up all night, which is a struggle in itself, and then knowing that you're coming and doing a whole nother shift at another job.
More than a third of side hustlers need the extra income just to pay for living expenses like rent and groceries.
It's hard, with the cost of gas and groceries, and we're sometimes at the end of the week where all the big bills are paid, but we're waiting till Friday to go grocery shopping or things like that, because there's only so much money to go around, even with both jobs. Just the expenses they just keep going up. Go.
1 in 3 side hustlers thinks they will need the extra work forever to make ends meet. For Matthew, that's 2 jobs, 16 hours of work, and hardly any sleep.
Does your doctor know you're working this much and not sleeping?
My doctor absolutely does not know that I'm working this much and not sleeping, and I've been avoiding it because I know he's going to tell me it's not good for my health.
Problem is, Matthew crashes even when he'd like to be awake, hanging out with his wife and cheering on their 2 kids.
So he's been sleeping at like dance competitions, at band competitions.
He's been like wherever I can get it in, right?
He slept in the car, like in between his dances at dance competitions. He's like snuck out and napped.
Matthew's wife works a full-time job too. She says their relationship is strained.
Sometimes you feel like you're a single parent when you're not.
The stress can be crippling. Nearly half of Americans have money-related anxiety.
Some Americans do need a second income just to survive. And when we see stats like 78% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, that means they are on the brink of needing more income. So whether that's more income coming from their full-time job, which would be ideal, but supplementing with a side hustle is actually a great way to help this cycle of getting out of paycheck to paycheck living.
So what would you give for this to be your one and only job?
I'd give up just about anything. It would mean a lot more time with my kids, which is the most important thing in the world.
So how long will Matthew go on like this?
We didn't really want to have the kids suffer for anything, so.
I don't want them to miss out on the activities and the things that they love to do and that'll help their future. So I'll do what I need to do and, as long as I can.
So you probably know people who are in similar situations, maybe not working 16 hours, but having these side hustles, if 1 in 3 Americans are now doing it. Matthew tells me that he got in this situation by having a couple of work gaps. He lost his job a couple of times in the financial sector, and it's a lot easier to get into debt than to get out of debt. So we did talk more with personal finance expert Rachel Cruz, who you just heard from. She said side hustles are great. Second jobs where you're working this many hours is not a long-term solution. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.